Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a look at the completed Mini Me album for the first half of 2023 and talk a little bit more about what goes in this album. Okay, so before I dive into my actual album, I want to just mention a little bit about what this album is. So starting in 2022, I decided to start keeping a Mini Me album, which is basically what an album that is 6x8 that are stories about me. And some of these are timely to the time period. Some of them are looking back. Sometimes there's a few stories that aren't specifically about me, but generally they are, or they're more like deeper, reflective, and a lot of them are from the story kits. So I made one of these in 2022 and I have a full flip through of that one here on my YouTube channel, and I will leave that link for you guys so you can check that one out next if you're interested. But for starting in 2023, I'm doing 2 albums per year. So this is the first half. So I had made this label that says My Story 2023 at the beginning of the year, thinking I would only have one of these because I only had one for 2022. But it started to get super full. So I realized that I really wanted to do the first half of the year in here and then start a second one for the second half of 2023. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second, but I just wanted to briefly show you, here's my album for 2023, my second half. So I have these 2, I'm gonna make a label here and I will put like part 1, part 2 or something. So these 2 go together. These were both, I believe, December daily albums. I think this one was from 2022's December daily and this one was from 2023's December daily. So I liked the way they look together and I like the way they look on my shelf. For 2024, I'm using like black and white ones and I'll share those in a future video. But for this one, you can see I only have a few pages in here so far. I didn't really split the year in half like June and then start this one in July because I didn't really know I was gonna do 2 albums until later in the year. And I had a big life change in August when my daughter moved out and I became an empty nester. So I kind of did the shift around that time. So how I format this album is just basically layouts and projects about me. Some of these ones in the beginning, I have process videos for in my plan, prep, play class, including like planning them and putting them together, because that was kind of how I spent the first part of 2023. I also have a lot of layouts in this one using the Freckled Fawn kits because I did use those on their creative team at this point in time. And then just other little layouts like this, like I believe this was maybe in like a stories by the month or a story kit. And then this is using Cocoa Daisy because I'm currently on their creative team, so I'm using some of their products as well. And here's another Cocoa Daisy spread. So you can see I'm doing some pocket pages, some outside the pocket, some are mixed like this spread. This is using the punctuation kit. So most of these spreads I have process videos or have shared the project previously. Other ones I haven't, like this one I never shared because it's just kind of like, I think this was actually the last one I did to kind of fill in this gap. So basically what I do is as I create projects, I put them in here and then I find ways to kind of adhere them back to back. So this album is totally done. These are all adhered back to back. So these are 2 6x8s, another 6x8. So I went to the Dominican Republic in February of 2023. So I have a lot of projects in here using those photos or about that trip itself. And then here's moving into spring after that. Here's some that are in a page protector versus outside. I do have some I blurred out here because I wanted to cover my text, but this was like some longer journaling. And then, so I have some that are longer journaling and some that are more just like fun and lighthearted. Here's another one that I've had to blur a little bit, but just kind of, I think this was a story kit. And so I had made this back in April. And then this one was in July. So these actually got adhered back to back. I definitely did layouts between April and July. I have layouts that are about times between April and July, like this one is June, but those just ended up getting adhered back to back because I liked the way that the styles and the sizes looked. This one I think was with the Explore Story Kit, and I did these photos like masked in Photoshop into strips to line up with these numbers, and I really love how that turned out. Here's another freckled fawn one. And like, so some of these like this don't have like a deeper story. It's just fun and documenting a photo. Here's another one that doesn't even have a photo. And then, oh, this came off. There are some places like this where I just had some page protectors. So like this one here was on this divided page protector and this 3x8. So I had a page protector here I wanted to just fill in. So I picked one of the extra 4x6 cards from a story kit that I didn't really have anything planned for. And I just gave myself a very simple prompt and added a photo. And this photo was actually just from Week in the Life. So I know I have so many random life photos from Week in the Life. So I just pull them to do random spots like this. Here's one from the work story kit. This one I believe was the happy story kit. I love these like collected list layouts. This one I just recently shared on my Instagram. So this was with the Grow Quarterly Scrapbook Kit about my garden, my yard. This one I did a long time ago from the Go story kit. And this is from a trip in Brooklyn. So it is currently 2024. I started, oh, there's some glue there. I started working on this album in the beginning of 2023 because that's what it's documenting. But some things like this one, I actually put this layout together in 2024. And then I'm putting it back in here, reflecting on what my yard looked like then. And there's some other ones like this one I did more recently. So this one, and I'm not going to share my journaling, but it's about my job. And I am a tax attorney, and in March of 2022, I got promoted so that I supervise other tax attorneys. So I had planned to do this reflecting on my first year of that job in March of 23. I didn't get to doing this until March of 24. So I did some reflection on my first year, and then I did more about my second year and how I didn't actually get to document this until March of 2024. But I still put it in this album because that was the original intent, and I wanted to kind of fill that spot. So continuing on, here's more with the Grow story kit. This one was maybe the work story kit. I don't remember which one, but this was about like my YouTube channel. Here was another just collection of stories from May. And doing these ones are fun to do much later. And I think I shared about this on Instagram when I shared this layout that I put this together in 2024. So it's way after May 2023. But I looked back through my photo archives and just pulled some photos and was able to use those as jumping off points and to kind of remember what happened that May. And it was a fun kind of exercise to reflect on the month. And then I finished this album with this layout from the Open Story Kit, talking about the transition to being an empty nester. And I needed to go back and make this layout. And so what I did was I actually just went to my Week in the Life, which was prior to my daughter moving out, and pulled photos of myself and one of me and her together talking to fill in this because I just wanted photos of me living life. So that's one of the reasons I know Week in the Life is coming up right now. And one of the things I love about Week in the Life is you're capturing all of these everyday life photos that are not only great for Week in the Life, but they're great for just normal documenting and for doing other stories and other story prompts and just having those like photos of you living life to pull from. So that was a look at my first half of 2023. Like I said, I'm working on putting together the second half of 2023, and here I just have a couple of layouts so far. But I did want to share with you a little bit about how I plan this, and I will share more about this in a future video. But this is my craft planner, and I have a lot of my craft planner stuff here on my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in that, definitely go check those out. But this is my plan for my 2023 Mini-Me Part 2, which is this album here. So basically what I'm doing is these are unplaced projects. So these are projects that I have planned to put in that album that I have not yet made. So this would be once I plan out a story kit or whatever kit. So here, like the birthday story kit was the most recent one that came out. I plan to document my 37th birthday, which happened in the second half of 2023. So I know I want to put that here. So I know that that is birthday number 1 because that was my first plan from that kit. So if I flip to my project plan for the birthday story kit, the first project is going to be this 37th birthday. And then this tells me what the pages are. So on the left side, I have a 6x8 outside the page protector. The right side, I have the 3 pockets. So it's got the 2 3x4s and 1 4x6. So I know when I want to put that in my album that I need to have it back to back with another full page 6x8 outside the page protector, and then a 3 pocket protector on the other side. So I have all these projects here, and then as I create them, I'm gonna place them in my album. And here I will put like, oh, these ones can go back to back because they're 6x8 out. Now say I want to work on this project next, I will say, oh, well, it has a 3 pocket here, so maybe I'm gonna leave gaps in here so I can put new projects in between. And as I fill it in, I can decide that. And I also could just go through this list and say, okay, I like these ones side by side, so just put them in here so I have a plan of where they're gonna go in the album. This is something I'm trying new with my part 2, because for this one, what I did was I just kind of put things in the album as I made them. It started to get bulky, and then I had all these gaps where things didn't fit. So I ended up coming back and doing things like planning this spread specifically to fit on this page. And I don't love doing that. I love like planning the pages and then having them work in the album. So I think this method will give me more flexibility to make things work together. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I will share my 2023 part 2 mini-me when I finish it. So I will definitely look forward to that and to sharing my 2024 mini-me as well. I'm starting on that, and I have 2 albums already because I know it's going to be 2 albums, and I'm super excited to dive into these. And I'm also super excited to have this one done and put it on the shelf. So like I said, thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.